Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online webinar. We are just waiting for more few people to join us, so please let us wait for one more minute and then we are going to start. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get started. Actually, some people already have messaged us that they are not going to make it tonight, but we are going to start. It's fine because we are going to record this video and later we will send to those people, of course. It's much better to be online because probably you'll have some more questions and we can have Q&A here with us. It will not take more than 20 minutes. I'll try to finish it as soon as possible. So let's get started. Welcome everybody. My name is Dana Marduk. I am one of the founders of Gen Z Futurist movement and platform. I'm also the member of World Future Studies Federation. I've been working on futures of education for more than 5 years professionally. And now we have founded a movement to totally disrupt the education system. And now we are calling the teachers all over the world to join us into this movement so that we can disrupt the education system for all children by using the new technologies, accelerating technologies that we are having right now, and especially in the next few years. So I will, without a further ado, I will start my presentation very quick, and then you can ask whatever you want. I'll give you more information about Gen Z and later about the system that we are going to work in all countries. Of course, depending on the country, probably the programs will be different. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. Just a second, please. All right. Okay, that's great. I think right now. Okay, that's great. I think you can see my screen right now. So Gen Z Futurists movement and platform is about disrupting education system actually, because according to the next example that I'm going to tell you, a lot of industries have changed during the last 100 and let's say 150 years. But unfortunately, the education system has remained the same. So let me just activate my PowerPoint and then you can see. All right. So before I actually give you this example about, let's say, the education system, I'm going to tell you that what is the goal, the main goal of Gen Z Futurist. We call it MTP, actually. Our goal is massive transformative purpose. It's a little bit different from the goal. A goal probably is more personal, but we have a purpose. We have a huge purpose, actually, and it's a very long term, from 10 to 20 years, to disrupt the education system. So our MTP is disrupting the education system and teach 1 billion students about future thinking and make them great leaders of the future. So this is the hugest and the biggest goal that we have. And I can tell you a lot about this goal later, probably, if you are interested. But for now, it's important to know that this is an international movement. It doesn't, let's say, belong to any nations, any races, any languages. It is all about teaching students all over the world about the future thinking. Later, I will a little bit talk about what is future thinking, of course. So our goal is massive because actually we want to reach at least 1 billion students all over the world. It is transformative. Why? Because we are going to disrupt the education system. We are not going to fix a part of it or some part of it. We are going to totally disrupt it and change it and transform it. And it is our purpose because our main purpose, of course, of teaching future studies or future thinking to the student is to make them the great leaders of the future, the great leaders of their life, and of course, the great leaders of, let's say, the world and their country. Now, uh, let's go to the examples that we have here. So, what is futures thinking? Future thinking is a way of thinking that helps us to actually see the future and understand the future much better. It's not about actually any types of prediction because futurists do not predict. What futurists do is we see the changes and also we see the trends. We make the scenarios so that we try to make these scenarios a real future. There are a lot of possible futures, probable futures, and of course, preferable futures. We as futurists try to create the preferable futures, futures that we really want to happen in the world and in our life. Now, you see this car. This car is one of the first its kind, about 100 years ago or more probably. And now you see another car that is just, let's say, the newest one. And you see how much we have changed from 100, 120 years ago until now. We have had a huge, enormous change in the car industry. In the next picture, you see the first airplane actually that Wright brothers in 1903, they invented. And only about 120 years later, you'll see that Airbus is just making such an airplane, which means that it's a huge difference and then disruption and transform actually from that form to the new one. But unfortunately, see this classroom. This belongs to 100 years ago. And if you look at the classrooms right now, we have, it's almost the same. Students are behind the desk with the pen and paper and they are writing. They are listening to the teachers and writing down some notes and then try to memorize it and then they take the test to pass it. That's the education system in the last 100, 120 years. It has not changed a lot actually. So this is the problem. Now, what we are going to do is totally disrupt this education system. How we are going to do it? Before that, I want to show you a, let's say, a picture that probably, if some of you are not agree with, but actually our education system makes our students much more stupid than what they are because it kills their creativity and it does not let them to be creative. So that's a big problem. That's a huge problem. We can see this education system in almost all countries, but we can stop it. And we are here to actually stop this problem. Now, in 1 minute, I want to tell you what has changed during the last, let's say, century. We have different generations. Why we call it Gen Z futurists? Because we are working with children born after 1997 and after that. We have some generations before that. We have, let's say, sorry. All right. So we have, let's say, traditionalists from 1900 to 1945, and then we have boomers, then we have Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. All these generations have had different environment, but unfortunately, the education system has been the same for all of them. So this means a huge problem. Now we have the focus on Generation Z, the students that now the age are from, let's say, 10, 12 years until 25 years. And we want to really help them to change their mindset and learn about the future thinking to create the best future they want. Now, what we're going to do is to teach them some new skills, all right? You all agree that most of us have wasted our time in school and university most of things and stuff that we have learned is useless, obsolete actually, because we no longer use those information. We don't need them. And we don't have the new skills that we really needed right now. We want to teach children some new skills, 21st century skills, and we can divide it in three main categories. One of them is learning skills. We need to teach children about critical thinking. They have to think about whatever is there as a problem and not to accept it. They need to ask questions. They need to be critical. Then we need to teach them creativity. They have to connect the dots. They have to understand the biggest problems in the world, in their life, the complexity of this world, which we call it VUCA world. Probably you have heard it. It's about the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world that we are living in right now. We also have to teach them about collaboration, about communication. These things are new skills that we need to teach them at school, in institute, or wherever we are. The next skill is literacy skills. We need to tell them about the information skills, about the media and technology. They have to learn how to use them actually. And also we need to teach them some life skills like flexibility. They have to be flexible toward a lot of problems. For example, now we are living in the coronavirus crisis that right now actually, and if we are not flexible toward the problems that we are facing, definitely there will be a lot of problems for us. So we need to teach children about flexibility. About leadership, we need to teach our children about the leadership and how to lead their life and probably others. To be initiative, productivity, and social skills are some other skills that we need to teach our children. And these are the goals that we have in, let's say, Gen Z futurists. Now, I want to go very quickly toward that what we are going to actually use in this new education system, which, of course, we are not calling that education system. You can learn more in our website at what we believe, but we call it edutainment system because it's a mixture of education and entertainment. This word actually means that children are going to learn things through the games, all right? So this is how most of the children now prefer to learn the things. Reading the books and readings is really boring for most of them. So we are going to use new technologies. Probably you've heard of virtual reality, augmented reality. So we are going to bring these new technologies into the classroom so that children can learn the things by heart in the 3D instead of some just, let's say, rigid pictures that they see in their books. So this will help them to actually expand their creativity, their imagination about the future. And this is one of those technologies that we really insist to have in all schools, and we are going to teach children how to use it. Okay, a lot of you probably remember in the school time when we wanted to see a cell under the microscope. We had a very old microscope, and probably when we tried to see something, it was not clear and we didn't see almost anything. But now we have the virtual reality and also the augmented reality that you can easily see, let's say, whatever inside the cell by just putting it on the picture or whatever is there. And easily you can let's say, see the details and hear even the voices that is explaining those details. So that is a very amazing kind of edutainmental, let's say, device and tool that we can use in the school, and we are going to do that. You can just easily search augmented reality in education. You will see a lot of examples that makes the education much, much easier for children and interesting, actually. Children will be amazed at how this technology is going to teach them, and they will probably never forget, and they learn much, much better than if it's just a picture or some explanation from the teacher. So what we want is to equip the schools, all right, with these new technologies, which the next technology probably you've heard or not, but we can, the name is 3D printing. I'm going to play a video for you, probably less than a minute, and you will see that how it works in school and what are the advantages. So here's the video.
Drawing is colorful, it's playful, but it's also doing.
Okay.
here.
All
So
this is part
sorry.
of making Frontier excited about what we've produced.
We're making the cutter.
Frontier in mind, you have Wi-Fi in your house, or it's colorful, particularly magic in their minds.
Sorry. Okay, now you can.
Drawing is awesome. Designing in 3D can be very difficult. What if making your 3D creations would be as easy as drawing on paper? We want to make designing in 3D as simple as possible. So we're building a tool with which you can start with your flat drawing, and from there, stretch it upwards, bend it sideways, copy, paste, and tweak those details. We are calling it Doodle 3D Transform, and with it, anyone can express their creativity in 3D, even when you've never made a 3D model before. Hi, my name is Rick. I'm one of the founders of Doodle 3D. Together with my team,
Okay, all right. So as you just saw in the video, there is a technology called 3D printing. You can easily search on the net and you'll find hundreds and thousands of videos about it, which it can be used in all aspects of our life, actually. But for education, it's amazing to know that we can bring these tools into the schools so the children can exactly create what they're imagining. They just create something on the paper, easily take a picture of it, and by the application, they can modify it, and then they can create the 3D printing in front of their very eyes. So these technologies and more actually are those that we really want to bring into schools and teach, let's say, teachers about it, and then also students about it. Now, quickly, I want to go through our 20 years roadmap very quickly, that what we are going to do in which stages, and then after that, I'll finish, let's say, my presentation, and we'll have some time to ask and answer some questions. Now, so we can say it's divided by 4 main levels, or let's say stages, from 2020 to 2030, and 2070, and 2030, and then 2040. In the first stage, which will be from 2020, this year, to the next 3 years, we are going to introduce future thinking to schools and educational institutions in all countries. Okay, how we are going to do that? This is a very new topic, actually, and in no school we can say around the world we have had such an education, or let's say edutainment, about future thinking, how children can think about the future, how they can plan for it for a long term. It's not only about the goals, all right, it's about the understanding the future, it's about making scenarios, making plans also is a part of it. And what we are going to do first is through teaching children by providing free courses to teachers all over the world. So in every country, we are going to have a team of teachers that they are going to learn first. And then we are giving them some sources that they can have some more studies and search. And then they can teach their children about future thinking, and their students, sorry, about their what they have learned about future thinking. We're going to support them in every, let's say, walk of this process, help them how to teach children, and especially those children who are more interested. And after, let's say, providing these teachers that they have learned, they are going to also use those technologies in the school, which will be in the next step. So in 2030 to 2027, we are going to bring in new technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, 3D printing, and more technologies to bring it to all schools so the children can learn this stuff much, much easier, better, faster. And it will be, of course, fun, because we are going to base all this learning on the gaming and gamification. Children are not going to learn in the way that we learned in our schools. So they are going to learn in a different way. We need a different method. We need a different tools. Now, this is the second step that we are going to do. Probably it will take some years, but we hope that we can do it as soon as possible. Now, the second, let's say, step, which is the final goal that we have, is we want to create a integrated system so that It can be through the applications and online, let's say, application that all children in different levels, they can join that system. They can learn through the online learning by using different technologies. It can be both online and offline, of course, by helping the teachers, but this will be integrated. What does it mean? It means that from the kindergarten, the first year that they want to learn something, probably in the age of 5, all right? We're going to starting teaching them different things that they are learning right now. We are going to teaching them those skills that we mentioned before, not anything else more. And then they will go to the next level, and they don't need to change the school. They don't need to change the system. It will be the whole integrated system until they finish their, let's say, elementary school, then their high school, and even university. And after that, even we have a plan so that those students can, let's say, become an entrepreneur, and they can even create the job that they want, not only to wait for a new job. So they will be creative. They will be people who make changes. And also from those students, we will choose some other children that they will be the leaders, let's say, of their probably even countries. Now, this is the last level that we have, that we are going to reach. And I can also talk about another idea, just let's say very short, but we can talk about it later if you want it. Okay, the idea is this. We're going to have an international parliament for kids, for children, for Gen Z, that from each country, we will have one, let's say, candidate, that they will be the candidate for their country. They will be somebody who has learned future thinking through the Generation Z, and there is no limit age, let's say, and it depends, of course, on the ability and skills of that person. So imagine if we have 200 countries, we will have 200 candidates, or let's say ambassadors, or any, let's say, whatever you want to call it. So this parliament will be working with governments, with international organizations, to be a voice of the new generation, to be a voice to, let's say, the new ideas for this generation that almost, they are absolutely different from other generations. Now, this is actually another part of what we have in our Gen Z. Now, for the final word, I want to quickly talk about some benefits that by joining Gen Z movements that you can achieve. Of course, we already had it in our website, but if you join us, you can become a Gen Z Futurist movement, first of all. If you are interested in future thinking later, when you learned about it, you can become a member of World Future Studies Federation, which is an international organization for more than 53 years. Then let's say we will have your profile in our website so that you will become a member of the international movement. You will learn, let's say, about future thinking by participating in different courses, in different seminars, just for free in different countries, probably. And then also you can have a part-time job with us in different parts and different departments that we have. And also, of course, if you want, you can travel to other countries and become a candidate, or let's say ambassador of our movement, and work and live and travel, let's say, to other countries, and to spread actually this movement. And finally, there are some other positions that you can reach if you are really interested about this movement. This is a lifestyle. This is not a very short-term job. Let's say you think about it. This is, for the first, we are starting with some volunteers, and then we teach them, and among them, we are going to choose some more people who are enthusiastic about our MTP, and then they are going to be a part of our family. Thank you very much for your interest. Actually, it's almost done. I will just close my presentation, and now I'm ready to answer any questions that you have. All right, you can ask me any question. Just activate your mic if you have any ideas or any questions about what we just talked about here. All right, no question?
Hello, sir.
Yes, hi, Mehrnaz, right?
Yeah, I'm Mehrnaz. Sorry, I have a question. So what is the next step? You know, what are we going to do for the next part?
All right, good question. Well, the next part is we are going to talk to you personally and see that how much you are interested actually to join us. and we are going to see that how much time you have to allocate to this movement and how much you are serious about accepting this, because I told you this is something that you need to first a little bit to be engaged about it. We don't want to spend time on people who after a while they just leave and let's say don't follow up the things, right? So this is for the first time, it's a very, let's say, little job, or let's say part-time, or a kind of volunteering activities, this kind of things. But when we see that person is really interested, then we are going to invest in that person. We are going to work with them officially, and then they will become a part of our organization. And then according to their activities, they can just increase their, let's say, the volume of the scale of the job that they are doing. And we are not going to, in this level, to employ anybody, but as I told you, we'll have different projects. You will be, you can actually participate in these projects, and some of them will have some good monetary, let's say, benefits for you. So this is the thing that we are going to do. Choose those people who are more interested, and then start teaching them about future thinking, so that later they can teach. Everything will be online. You don't need to go anywhere. We have already some context videos, let's say articles, that you can read them. But later we will have a, let's say, group of teachers from different countries that you will participate in our online courses, and then you will learn about it probably for 1 or 2 months, and then that's it. You can start teaching the children that are, let's say, or young people that are in your classes. And yeah, that's the first stuff, let's say, first point that we can start after this. All right, did you get the answer?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, anybody else here? If you got any question, yes, please. Okay,
so now,
all right, yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Hi, thank you for your speaking.
Thank you.
You can hear me?
Yes, yes. Okay, we have a little bit delay. Go on, please.
So we should text you about our volunteering, and now we are ready to cooperate with you. And after that, our online classes is just about our students in our countries, or no? The students are international in other countries.
All right. Thank you for your question. That's a good question. So actually, you are not limited, because we are not going to teach children based on their language of their country, because our sources for now is actually, let's say, just in English. All right. So for now, we are working internationally. Your students later will be both your students in your classes, and for the online purposes, you'll probably, yes, you will teach some students in different countries, depending on, of course, the level that you will get in teaching. You will have different students. So yes, after you have some success, let's say, teaching the students that you have in your country, then we will choose those people who really are more professional in teaching these subjects, and then we will choose them to teach international students, and both online, and of course, if after coronavirus, let's say, probably you can travel to other countries.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, any more questions? If you have, please ask me. If not, then we can end the session, and later in the group, let's say, we can talk about it. All right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your attendance, and we will be with you in the group. And in the next few days, we are going to choose some people who are more interested, and we will start working with them. Thank you so much, and have a nice night.